1991-1992 season produced probably the most epic, amazing finish ever seen in the history of Spanish football. Real Madrid had been top of the table for the whole of that season, having started very strongly, winning 12 of their first 13 games, and it's important to remember that this was a time that a victory was worth 2 points only. And this gave them an early 8-point advantage over Barça, who had had a disappointing start to the season with 3 defeats in their first 5 games. Barça were of course defending champions. Johan's Cruyff team had broken a run of 5 straight titles for Real Madrid in the Dutchman's third season in charge. Madrid were determined to reclaim the Liga, but their form dropped off in December and January, allowing Barça to reduce the gap to 3 points. Barça lost only once between mid-October and the start of April to keep up the pressure, but defeats in April at Valencia and Tenerife and a disappointing draw at home to Burgos at the start of May left Barça with little chance of regaining the title. With just 5 games to play, Madrid had a 4-point advantage and a goal difference that was 13 goals better than Barça's. There was no head-to-head goal difference then, it was just general goal difference for the whole season. And Barça, of course, also had the welcome distraction of a European Cup final to prepare for against Sampdoria. In the final weeks, Madrid lost 1-0 at Oviedo and drew 1-1 at Osasuna, while Barça kept winning in the league. Ronald Koeman's goal won the European Cup at Wembley, and the gap at the top was reduced to 1 point going into the final fixture. What was most impressive is that after superb victories 6-0 at Valladolid and 4-0 at Espanyol, Barça now had the better goal difference, meaning Madrid needed a win in their final game to be champions. In the week leading up to the final game of the season, there was talk of maletines, or suitcases full of money, a way in Spain of talking about bribes. Barça's last game was at home to Athletic de Bilbao, while Madrid had to go to Tenerife for a complicated game. Barcelona's president Núñez had suggested that the Tenerife goalkeeper Agustin had a Madrid past and that he may do a favour to his old club. The 2 games kicked off at the same time. It was 7 o'clock in Barcelona and 6 o'clock in Tenerife. The game in Tenerife kicked off 4 minutes late, the game in Barcelona kicked off 5 minutes late. And after just 9 minutes, Madrid took the lead in Tenerife. Hadji took the ball down the right, crossed to the far post, Fernando Hierro leapt unmarked, and the Tenerife goalkeeper Agustin might have done better to keep the ball out. There'd be questions asked for years. Agustin didn't last long. Whether he was injured or not, we'll never know, but after 25 minutes he was replaced by Manolo. The change didn't seem to help. Just 4 minutes later, Madrid won a free kick 30 yards out after a foul on Alfonso. Hadji stepped up, struck a superb shot, flew past the goalkeeper, in off the crossbar. The goalkeeper didn't move for it. Whether he could have done anything, we don't know. With the score still 0-0 at Camp Nou, Madrid's 2-goal advantage looked very strong. However, in the space of a minute, things were about to change. First, Tenerife pulled a goal back through a tremendous individual effort from Quique Estebaranz. Taking the ball from 40 yards out, he dribbled to the edge of the area before cracking a shot into the low corner of the goal, past Paco Bullo. The news reached Camp Nou immediately, and a minute later, Christos Stoichkov scored Barca's first goal. Goycochea crossed from the right. The Athletic goalkeeper got caught out of position, and Stoichkov rose at the far post to head into an empty goal. And how the mood changed with those 2 goals in the space of a minute. Then 5 minutes into the second half, Christos Stoichkov tried to play the ball into Julio Salinas. It wasn't a great pass. A defender got a foot in but sent a ball up into the air, looping high into the air inside the area. Stoichkov attacked the ball, made a fantastic leap, headed a looping header over the goalkeeper to make it 2-0 to Barça. Everything seemed set for an easy Barça victory, but this wouldn't count for anything if Madrid could hold on to their lead in Tenerife. Madrid started the second half strongly. A minute after Stoichkov scored at Camp Nou, Luis Milla had a goal ruled out for offside incorrectly. The replay showed he was about 4 yards onside, and if VAR was in place at that time, then Madrid might have been champions. A minute after that, Hadji went through on the left, sent a low shot under the goalkeeper from an angle, but the ball came out off the far post, and there was nobody there to put in the rebound. The failure to score a third goal made Madrid nervous. Their coach Leo Benhacker decided to take off 19-year-old Alfonso Perez and bring on Luis Enrique in his place, which could only be seen as a defensive move. Things began to go wrong for Madrid, and left-back Villarroyo got 2 yellow cards in the space of a minute to get sent off and leave Madrid with just 10 men. It's funny to look back how the TV crews invaded the pitch to get an interview before Villarroyo had even left the pitch. Madrid made another defensive substitution in the 72nd minute when Mikel Lassa came on for Giga Hadji. And it could have all been over. A couple of minutes later, when Emilio Butragueño went through on his own, clear through, with just a goalkeeper to beat, He got to the edge of the area, opened his body, tried to siphon it into the far corner, but the goalkeeper read it and saved well. It would be a costly miss. Just a couple of minutes later, Felipe made a tremendous run into the right side of the penalty area. He got a cross in, Madrid were in a mess at the back. Ricardo Rocha tried to clear it but sliced the ball into his own net. 2-2. Barça would be champions now if things stayed as they were. But this was a crazy game. Just a minute later, Tenerife knocked the ball up the left side. Manolo Sanchez was running back towards his own goal. Near the touchline, 35 yards away from his goal, he sent a high looping back pass. Incredible what he did. It went over Paco Bullo, who was desperately trying to get back. Bullo managed to get his hands to the ball, but the ball rolled across the line, and Tenerife's substitute Pierre was quickest to get on the end of it and knock the ball in. 3-2 to Tenerife. Camp Nou went mad. There was nothing Madrid could do now. Needing 2 goals, they looked a defeated team. The game in Tenerife had over 5 minutes of injury time, but Madrid couldn't create another chance. It was the most incredible climax to the most incredible season. Barça finished with a European Cup and a second consecutive league. 1992, of course, was the year that Barcelona hosted the Olympic Games, so it was a very, very special year for the city. And of course you might think that something like this could only ever happen once, but the following season it happened again. But that's another story for another day. I'll be back on Monday with another video. Until then, Bisco Barça. Bye for now.